Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In our today's video, we're going to integrate an AI chatbot within our e-commerce website. As you see, we have been created this Toulouse website for long, and today we're gonna integrate that one. As you see, any user can come here and chat. If we just say how to purchase from Toulouse. And after that, one AI chatbot, it will generate the message. Right now, you don't need to reply. So everything going to be handled with the artificial intelligence, and it gonna wrap up the message and you can handle it. You can just go through the dashboard and we can set everything here. We can go specifically with the user ratio and others. This is pretty handy if you are having a pretty simple application, like you just to understand and learn how AI can really help in your business module. That's how it can really work on that. So today I'm gonna let you know how you can set up with that using a Sendbird. So now, as you see, this entire application is here in this repo. It's available here, and there is an entire video which I created. It's around 12 hours long. The link, it will be in the description. You can find it, and if you just go and build it from the scratch if you want it. Otherwise, if you just start with me, as you see, I'm gonna clone that one and then I'm gonna start building that. So if I go back here in my build directory here, I'm going to open my new terminal, and within this terminal, I'm going to clone it. So git clone, done. So give it a time to clone it. You also can find the entire source code is ready to integrate. You just go through that link, just grab it, and you can just use it. It's very simple on that. Also, you can find the entire video here in that video. The link, it will be in the description, where I show how you can do it from the scratch. Now to start with our today's process, as you see, it's just cloned. So if we put ls, you're gonna see our Toulouse_YT. So this project, like this repo link, it will be in the description. So grab it and then clone it, download it, whatever you do comfortably you feel, just do it. Now I'm gonna just open cd into Toulouse_YT and code space dot to open in my code editor. And after doing so, what I really want from here, as you see the package log.json, I want you to delete that one, because it can carry some of the bunch of code which is really early, so it can have some problems. So it's better to remove that package -log.json. What I want now, npm install. Now after running that command, either you can use the yarn or pnpm, that's up to you. All the commands, it will work, but there is something, because it's created using React 19 and Next.js 15 up. So now it's having some dependency issue. As you see, it's just coming up with React Next 15.1 and also happen to be React 19. So that can really make a problem. So for the sum of the dependency, we need to go with that legacy path dependency. But right now, let's see if it's installing fine. If it's not installing, then I will let you know how you can do that. So now it's installing, means I'm not having any issue with that. So better you just need to remove that package -log.json. Otherwise, you need to go with the flag of that legacy path dependency. Either you need to force, because some of the dependency may be still having some issue beforehand. So now, as you see, while it's installing, we need to look out one special file, is the .env. So what you need to do to run everything, you need to go with that, to put that the next public Clark publishable key, the Clark secret, and sanity project ID, project dataset, API token, and API read token, Stripe secret key, and Stripe webhook key. So this is the things you need to run the fathom the entire project. Now for our purpose of the today's thing is not to go focus on that. We just need to go and integrate one application layer which it will be just applying on the Sendbird. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just, let's say, sign out from here. How you can start, as you see, you can just go with a continue with your Google, or you can just sign up from here. This is a very simple and easy to grab. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just continue with my same account, and after continuing, like after successfully signed in, you will be coming on the dashboard of your Sendbird account. Now here already I choose there's some of the organization setting you need to pray for. It's pretty simple. You just need to tick mark it and it will be fine. Now as you see, I have already created one application here. So what I want to do, I want to create a new application. So create an application. If you doesn't have any application, you just go a simple menu. You can just go start and create from here. So I'm going to click to create application, and I'm going to make the name of that Toulouse, let's say YT, the similar one, and it will say chat AI chatbot and business messaging or text, what you want. I want to just integrate that chat AI chatbot message, and now I can check my region where I want. Let's just put in that Singapore, and then I will just create. Okay, so now it's creating my application. As you see, it's now in my organization. So from that organization, it's pretty simple, like the Stripe separate setup. As you see, I am now here in Toulouse YT, and there is, you can see how the credit masses, because I'm using everything is now free. Now if you want to go in advanced level, you must have to pay, but it's pretty easy to understand how those things can collaborate. So now you can just check your user list from here. You can just configure the settings from here, how the setting you want the done, and you see all API key and the security key, everything is right here. And don't worry, I'm showing you because later on after finishing that, I'm gonna delete that one, so no worries about that. And whenever you're using, you can use your own setup. So as you see, all the messaging, all the channel, I can just grab it from here. So right now, let's go in the chat, and you can go with the chatbot kit and others. So smart building chat in minutes with UI kit. It will just give you the actual UI. So let's say if I go with the user like UI kit, so that's the message setup which we are just forecasting there. And you can go with the group setup, and you can just like if we just go on that, so let's say desktop, I'll just go with the mobile view. I think we are using the mobile view here, so it's a pretty simple view and a simple constraint writing here, this loading here. Now our application is up and running, so let's put that npm run dev to start our application in our local setup in localhost 3000. Okay, it's started. Let's open that one. Now there is something we need to configure, is that we need to showcase each and everything. As you see the Clark, you need to get the API key. So what I refer, go create a Clark application and just fetch everything you require for your application layer. But for this build, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna grab my previous application setup, and I'm gonna just like pour in up here, so I will just let out of the error. Okay, I access my old keys and others, so now I can view my all the product data and others. If you don't want, you can remove the login authentication processing, and it will also not give you the error. Now, how we can integrate that AI? Now, there is a lot of things you can go and do, but what we want to learn it from manually. We will do all the manual setup. As you see, if you just go back in the app, in the client layout, you're gonna find out there is written here, like it should be integrate here, because we need to create the layout and pass that chat icon, right? So we have our body here. So what I'm gonna do in my components, I'm gonna create a new file, which it will be say chat icon.tsx and RAFCE, or I can just simply create an arrow function here, which it will be let's say const, it will be chat icon, just a simple arrow function. And from here, I'm going to return a div here. So it will be a div, and let's say chat icon. And after that, I'm going to make that export. Okay. Export default, it should be our chat icon. So that's the icon which we're going to use to implement our chatting authentication and others. Now in the layout, because we want it should be appear in everywhere, so after, like before finishing the body, we're gonna pass our chat icon right here. Hit save. After saving, we supposed to be see the chat icon is just showcasing here. Now we don't need to do any kind of setup once we are using the Sendbird API. So Sendbird, it will handle all of the things, because as you see, we choose the mobile and it knows where it will just keep the setup, right? Now as you see, you can just on off if you want. That's everything is here. You can go through all the setup, but I will let you know how to integrate that. And to start integrating, I will go in my chat icon setup. Here we can access it by using so many other properties. So first of all, we're gonna create a function layer here. So let's say we're gonna make it first as a use client properties, because we need to use that use effect properties here. So it should be a use client component. And now here, I'm gonna just pass that use effect. And that use effect, it should be passing the variable, let's say passing an empty basis to remove all the parameter. Now all the functioning, all the work, it gonna happen within these properties. Okay, and so let's just build those functioning things. And before we start the function, let's say from the use effect, you're gonna return a value, right? You're gonna return a simple arrow function. It will just go within a return parameter. And there we're gonna return, let's say we're gonna make a div. So const div is equal to, it should be the document dot get element by ID. And every Sendbird, there is an like AI chatbot, by which we can just get that one. And now if we have a div here, only then we want to render that. So she should be document.body.remove child. Let's say remove child, and from there we're gonna remove the div. So within that parameter, our application layer, it will be perfectly aligned. Now if we go here, there is nothing. Even you reload, it's not appearing because we need to configure the setup to make it work. And how we can do that? And to configure the reference, first, as you see, we make our return statement. If there is the div which is contain the AI chatbot, only then it gonna render and remove the child from there. Now, first things what we need to do is that we need to ensure the script, let's say logic is added on the client side. So from here we're gonna add the client side processing, and as we use the use client flag, so it will be on the client side. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just wrap that with a function parameter, let's say function, and from the function, let's say return on that processor. So on that process w, it will refer as a window parameter, let's say window, so window, and we're gonna refer that one, which we're gonna create a chatbot config. So let's say chatbot, and it will just go with the configuration, and here if it's available, we'll pass an arguments which going to be a string parameter, and on that string it gonna underlie, which is gonna pass that API host parameter. So let's say API host. The API host also it gonna combine as a string parameter. So now as we just did that, as you are coming over here, and after that we need to passing also a d parameter and as statement, and then we're gonna pass all of our arguments. So that's how it gonna combine here. So after passing all of the argument as is coming here, so that's the combination layer where we're gonna just typically enter each and every documents. So now what we need to do, forget about this error, it will be okay once we are pouring things out. So now what we need to do, we need to create and append the chatbot. So now we're gonna just make the chatbot container div. So now we need to append that. So now make a div reference here, const div is equal to, remember we get a d statement. So and from there we're gonna make the d dot create element, and here we're gonna pass that statement as a div. So now as we are having a div, we're gonna just initialize with that div.id is equal to, it should be the similar of the div name we are passing here, which gonna be AI chatbot. And after passing that as an AI chatbot, we're gonna pass that d.body dot, let's say append child. So it should be, we need to append the child, and here we're gonna pass that as a div configuration here. So now as we are valuing the div, now what we need to do, we need to assign the chatbot config to window. So now let's say it should be an assign statement, assign chatbot, let's say config to window. Now how we can do that? So window, as we refer with the w, as we assign that as a window. So w dot, let's say chatbot config, and it will be coming for the argument we assign, and should be as is coming, should be as a string value for the TypeScript. And also for the string we need to make that the passing that API host, and that host it should be also a value of a string. Now as we are having those portion done, let's see, because as you see the argument we are combining here. So now what we need to do, we assign our chatbot config to window. Now we need to get another one which should be locate the first script tag, and let's say insert the chatbot script. Let's say script. So now insert. Okay, so now we need to locate like the first script tag and insert that. So how we can do that? Let's say we're gonna first make a configuration of the function d dot. It should be, let's say, get elements, because it can be multiple elements, and should be tag name. And here we're gonna get through the s value, because it will be a multiple element. We're gonna get the first one from that array, and you can go and make that console log to appending the things, how it just happening. That's up to you, but for me, I will just go to show you how you can really grab the things to relate it to the work. Now for the j statement, and we're gonna make that d dot, let's say create element, and here we're gonna pass the s, and this s should be an html, and we're gonna pass that as an script element, and that should be explicit cows to html script element. So that's what we are assigning here. Now j dot, we're gonna pass that defer, and that defer, it should be true, and let's say true. And after passing that value, also make that j dot, we need to pass the source value, and the source, which source it going to be. So here we're gonna pass that our Sendbird source here, which should be https and then ai chatbot dot sendbird.com, and from there we're gonna pass that index, let's say index.js. And are we getting anything from there? If we just copy that and let's say paste it here, so now as you see, it's just chatbot module has successfully loaded. So means we did that reference. If we go here, we can now grab our chatbot reference within our application. So that's the one which going to handle. So now as we are having the passing the references here, let's say f dot, we're gonna pass that our parent node if the node is available. So let's say parent node, and dot, we're gonna also make that an insert before. So insert before, and here we're gonna pass that our j statement and f statements, which are going to handle all the scenario, and from there we're gonna inline return some of the instances which can make like pulling things up within this parameter. So first thing first, I think, did we make anything? Okay, let's see, it should be passing here, and I think, yeah, it should not, because we are making inline return. Okay, let's see. So window dot, we're gonna pass the document segment here, and on the document, so first I'm gonna make it like separate window, then we're gonna pass our document, and on the document we're gonna pass an script value. So it should be script, and after the script value we need to get two parameter here. So first thing, let's go in our dashboard here. From there we will go in our settings. So that's the general setting. First we need to grab our application ID. I think, yeah, we need to provide that ID. So let's say that's the one. So that's the ID we are going to use. So first parameter, we're gonna pass that ID, and after that we need to pass also our secret. So that's the one which you need to go with the master API key. You can see that, because remember, I'm gonna remove that, so I'm not having any problem if even I just explicit that one. So I think that's the value, most probably, but let's just check one more time. Okay, that's the value. So let's just pass that one, and after passing that, as we are having the two value counted like all together, we need to now pass that our API host. So where our API is hosting, so we need to grab that one. So if you go over here and you see API request URL, so that's the URL which is handling to host our application layer. We're gonna copy that and then paste it. So now we are having the value. So everything is just properly aligned. If we go within our application layer, if we just make a hot reload, I believe something should be aligned. No, it's not yet come, means we missed something here, and we need to find out what's the parameter we messed up. If we go at the top, yeah, we make that j.differ as true, but there is another parameter we need to pass our type. So this type should be as module. So that's the one which we are missing from here. If we save the module here, and as you see, we're having it. We are having our chatbot application layer here. As you see, Okay, it's gone again. Something is wrong. So I don't think so. That's the ID we need. I think we need to provide our chatbot ID. You see, we need to create our chatbot. So that bot will be responsible to provide that all the replica. So get it started on here. So now first of all, we need to provide our one API key. Let's say we're gonna pass in. We are now testing in our localhost 3000. I'm gonna just go and grab that and pass that one. Create. Okay, check the website available. Okay, cool. So we can create it. Let's go back to the Sendbird and how we can go with that. Okay, I'm gonna go here again. Let's go. We have that to lose, so I'm gonna pass that one here. First, I want to just check if we can create that one. So we need one initial setup to go with that. Okay, it's creating, and after created, okay, it's analyzing our website content. So I think it will just take a bit of time to configure and reassign, because as you see, this entire things it gonna be handled within our that API, like within our the chatbot. So okay, it's configuring now. Also, if I go to my okay, oops, it's my bad. Okay, okay, valid. Okay, your AI chatbot is created. So right now, as you see, I can go with that. So okay, fantastic. So now we can just make that continue building, and from this side onwards, so now I can go and manage the both segment here. Remember, that's the ID here, which is having my both ID. So now we can send the instruction here. If I copy that one, instead of this, if I paste the value over here, which is my actual bot, which is responsible to just go and fetch the data and others, as you see, now I can see my bot. So that's the configuration you need to set. Now we need to go and tackle all other properties, like we can now pass our icon and others. Now what you need to do, as you see, you can just create like modify and update the way you want. So you see the customized widget style. So we can upload one image here. So let's go and upload my image here directly. I think it's taking the previous image. I will go with the light mode here. Okay, and let's say, okay, I'll change the widget icon. So I will go with that. What we have here, I think we have one, yeah, dark here. Okay, good. So now we'll go with that, and let's click change, and the color, I'm gonna make it a black color. Okay, that's it. So now you see, that's the icon. It will be like that. So now let's apply that. Apply. So after applying, it will also reflect here. If we just reload here, we should be able to see the new one. Okay, so now we can ask him, what are you? Let's say, and let's see how it gonna interact with me. So okay, hello, I am your virtual assistant from Toulouse. So now it's writing, I'm a virtual assistant from Toulouse, here to help you with any questions or information. Now here also you can align your questions. So how you see the basic question, and we can just set our instructions how it gonna go. We can make with the casual, natural, neutral, or formal. So everything you can like configure from here. And also the replies, you can go with that. You can go is the first welcome messages, and you can ask the questions, and as many questions you want. Then you can go and you can use it in any of the website like the Shopify or WordPress. So that's the formal things. You just need to configure your chatbot ID, because we're using the chatbot, so it will just go with that, and then passing that all entire value. And as we are not using this div here, I can just simply passing that an empty div variable here, so that it will not passing my the name here. As you see, it's nothing here. Previously it's just coming at the chat icon, so now it's no more. So I think that's the way. I think in our, okay, here is, okay, we need to remove it from here also. So that's how you can configure the chatbot, and also you can use the messaging integration, and lots of other things is available here in that Sendbird. So this is very simple to go with that. Feel free to go and create the way you want it. You can make it the way you see. It's just coming at the wizard and how the AI agent is responding. So it's very easy to configure. And also, if you want to use that application layer, feel free to go and get it. It's very simple and all the best to build, and I think you can do it to configure and make your own like chat API. So all the best. We'll see you in next video.